after the daughter of actor Tommy Lee Jones was found dead in an upscale hotel on New Year's Day.
At first, it looked like another quiet celebrity tragedy, but behind the gates of a busy mansion linked to Victoria Jones, investigators reportedly found details that raised far more questions than answers. Sources claim federal agents were allowed to search the property, and what they saw inside has raised serious rumors. Was it evidence, a hidden struggle, or something far more disturbing? As whispers spread and officials stay silent, the finding is sending shocks through Hollywood. What exactly did the FBI find behind those locked doors? Join us in this video as we reveal the details. The shocking discovery inside Tommy Lee Jones' daughter's mansion. Emergency workers were sent to a well-known hotel in San Francisco during the early morning hours of New Year's Day, 2026. After a report came in about a medical emergency. The call was made only a few hours after the new year had begun. Police officers, firefighters, and medical responders arrived quickly to check what was happening and to give help if possible. The sudden call brought a serious and quiet mood to the hotel as staff and guests became aware that something was wrong. The woman involved in the incident was later identified as Victoria Kafka Jones. She was 34 years old. Once her identity was confirmed, public interest in the situation increased because of her family background. At the time responders arrived, she was found unresponsive, and there were no clear signs that she could be revived. Authorities treated the situation with care and seriousness from the start. Victoria was found on the 14th floor of the Fairmont Hotel, a luxury hotel known for hosting high-profile guests. She was discovered in a hallway area instead of inside a hotel room. This detail immediately raised questions for investigators. A hallway is a shared space that many people can pass through, including guests and hotel staff. Because of this, officers understood that they would need to carefully review what may have happened in that area before she was found. Dispatchers often have limited details when they receive emergency calls, so early reports are not always exact. Once responders reached the scene, they began their own assessment to better understand the situation. When paramedics arrived, they examined Victoria where she was found. Despite their efforts, they were unable to save her. She was pronounced dead at the scene, meaning she was not taken to a hospital. This confirmed that she had already passed away before emergency crews arrived or shortly before they reached her. Police then secured the area so that the situation could be properly reviewed. At this point, officials have not released an official cause of death. They have also not confirmed the manner of death. Authorities explained that this information depends on the work of the medical examiner. An autopsy and other tests are needed before any final answers can be given. Until those steps are completed, the exact reason for her death remains unknown. Investigators are taking time to review all available information connected to the incident. This includes the location where Victoria was found, the timing of the emergency call, and the actions taken by first responders. Officials have stressed that early details should not be treated as final conclusions. The process of determining what happened can take time, especially when results are still pending. Investigators have allegedly obtained legal authorization to search Victoria's residence as part of their effort to better understand the events leading up to her death. Sources familiar with the situation speculate that the search was conducted to gather routine evidence, such as personal records or items that could help establish a clearer timeline. During the search, authorities are said to have come across something unexpected and deeply concerning, though no official details have been released. For now, the case remains open while authorities wait for further findings. The medical examiner's report will play a key role in helping officials understand what caused Victoria's death. Until that report is finished and released, police have said they will continue to approach the situation carefully and avoid making assumptions. The focus remains on gathering accurate information and ensuring that all facts are properly reviewed. Officials have asked for patience as the process moves forward. They noted that careful review is important in cases like this. No further details have been confirmed, and updates will only come after investigative work is complete later. So now we know how authorities were first alerted and arrived at the scene. The question becomes, what did the hotel staff find? And who was Victoria Jones beyond her connection to Hollywood? Let's delve deeper. Hotel staff discovery and Victoria Jones's early life and background. Hotel staff were the first people to notice that something was seriously wrong. According to reports, workers at the hotel found Victoria in the hallway and quickly realized she was not responding. At first, it was clear that this was not a normal situation. The staff understood that time was important, so they acted right away. They raised the alarm and contacted emergency services as soon as they could. Before medical teams arrived, CPR was reportedly performed in an effort to help her. These actions show that hotel staff tried to respond as quickly and responsibly as possible once they became aware of the situation. Soon after, emergency responders arrived at the hotel and confirmed her dead. Once this happened, the situation was turned over to law enforcement, following normal procedure. The presence of police marked the start of a formal investigation into what had happened inside the hotel room. From that point forward, the area became part of an official case. The San Francisco Police Department later released an official statement confirming what took place. Police said that officers responded to a report of a deceased person at a hotel located on the 900 block of Mason Street. When officers arrived, they met with medical workers who had already checked Victoria and declared her dead. After that, the medical examiner was called to the scene. The medical examiner's role was to begin looking into the death and gather early information before a full examination could be completed later. Once the scene was secured, authorities made a public request for help. Police asked anyone who might have information related to Victoria or her recent activities to come forward. They encouraged people to contact the San Francisco Police Department using official tip lines. This kind of request is usually made when investigators believe that someone else may know something helpful, even if it seems small or unimportant. It also shows that police are still working to understand what happened and are open to receiving more details from the public. Victoria Kafka Jones was later identified as the daughter of actor Tommy Lee Jones and his second wife, Kimberly Cluffley. Tommy Lee Jones is widely known for his long career in Hollywood, but Victoria herself lived most of her life away from constant attention. Her parents were married for several years before separating, and Victoria grew up with both a famous family background and a more private personal life. She also had an older brother named Austin Jones, who is now in his early 40s. Although she was connected to a well-known actor, Victoria did not spend her entire life in the public eye. As a child, she briefly explored acting and appeared in a few projects. Her first film role was a small part in Men in Black 2, where she appeared alongside her father. At the time, this role introduced her to the world of film, but it did not lead to a long-term acting career. Victoria later appeared in a television series and another film during her early years. These roles showed that she had some early involvement in entertainment, but as she grew older, she chose a different path. Over time, she stepped away from acting and did not continue working in Hollywood. This decision allowed her to live a more private life compared to many others connected to famous families. Despite leaving acting behind, Victoria remained known because of her family ties. However, she was not someone who regularly sought attention or publicity. Her appearances in films and television happened years earlier, and after that, she largely stayed out of the spotlight. People who followed her story often noted that she preferred a quieter life away from cameras and red carpets. The details shared so far focus mainly on how she was found, how authorities responded, and who she was as a person. Investigators have not gone beyond these confirmed facts. For now, police continue to review information and ask the public for help, while her background and early life remain part of the broader picture surrounding the case. Looking back at Victoria's life, filled with early fame and a string of personal struggles, one question remains. Did her past play a role in the tragedy that struck on that fateful morning? Stay tuned for more. Tragic loss. The mysterious death of Victoria Kafka Jones. Victoria Kafka Jones, the 34-year-old daughter of famous actor Tommy Lee Jones, was found dead inside a luxury hotel room in San Francisco on the morning of January 1st, 2026. The news of her passing shocked many, and details about what exactly happened remain limited. The San Francisco Police Department and the chief medical examiner are continuing to investigate, and the official results are still pending. As a result, many questions remain about the circumstances of her death and what events led up to it. Victoria's life had been marked by a series of personal struggles and legal challenges. Over the years, media reports and public records indicate that she faced multiple arrests and charges. In 2025 alone, she reportedly faced issues including domestic battery, domestic violence, and elder mistreatment at a Napa resort. Earlier in the same year, she was also charged with substance-related offenses. Even prior to these incidents, back in 2011, Victoria faced a theft charge in Texas, though that case was later dismissed. These events show a life with both highs and lows, combining moments of public attention with periods of private difficulties. Her challenges may have contributed to the struggles she faced in her later years, creating a life story that was both complicated and tragic. Victoria was born on September 3rd, 1991. Because of her father's nature of business, Victoria was exposed and shown to Hollywood life from an early age. But when she got older, she mostly abandoned and left out acting and focused on leading and living a private and quiet life. Although she sometimes made appearances and showed herself at events related to her father, she chose to live a more quiet life, rather than pursue a leading career in Hollywood. In the entertainment industry, her father, Tommy Lee Jones, is well known and well respected. Men in Black, No Country for Old Men, Batman Forever, Captain America, The First Avenger, and the Jason Bourne series are just a few of the well-known and popular movies in which he has acted in. In addition, he has received recognition for his directing and acting abilities. Even though Victoria herself decided not to chase a long-term career in the industry, his link to Hollywood put her in a world and realm of fame from an early age. She continued to stay linked to her father's industry despite her brief acting career, which kept her in the spotlight at some points in her life. Authorities are investigating all potential and possible reasons, situations and circumstances related to Victoria's death as they carry out their search and inquiry. While the medical examiner's office is carrying out more examinations, including toxicology tests, the San Francisco Police Department has stated that they are investigating what happened that morning and trying to gather evidence. It's not known exactly what caused her death until those results are made public. Police are still looking for any information and more details that could shed light on what really happened early on New Year's Day, and the case is still open. The tale and story of Victoria Kafka Jones serves as a reminder of the hardships and challenges that might arise and come up in a life affected by fame, legal issues, and personal struggles and issues. Many questions stay after her tragic death, and the inquiry is still ongoing as investigators try to piece together her last hours. Having looked at the events surrounding Victoria Jones's final hours, what do we know about the life she chose before that tragic day? And how did her upbringing and family shape the woman she became? Let's learn more. Victoria Kafka Jones, a life of quiet strength and family love. Victoria Kafka Jones, the 34-year-old daughter of actor Tommy Lee Jones, lived a life quietly apart from the bright spotlight of Hollywood. Even though she was born into fame, she chose a path guided by personal values, family, and living a life on her own terms. Those who knew her described Victoria as kind, gentle, and thoughtful. From an early age, she spoke Spanish fluently, a skill she learned at home, which became one way she expressed herself carefully and fully. Her lifestyle reflected the choices she made for herself. Victoria lived quietly, dividing her time between her family roots in Texas and her life in California. She avoided public attention and focused on meaningful relationships rather than chasing fame or wealth. Financially, Victoria lived comfortably. She received support from her family, income from acting she did as a child, and managed her resources wisely. She did not seek flashy displays of wealth or attention, instead living a grounded and modest life. Victoria's passing on January 1st, 2026, at the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco shocked her family and the public who had followed her quiet journey. While she spent most of her life away from the spotlight, her choices, personality, and devotion to family left a lasting impression. She was deeply connected to her father, Tommy Lee Jones, her mother, Kimberly Cloughley, her older brother, Austin Leonard Jones, and her stepmother, who all shared strong bonds with her. Her life showed that even those born into fame could prioritize love, privacy, and personal freedom over public attention. Although her acting career was brief, Victoria's roles showed her talent and professionalism. Her performances reflected depth and care, earning quiet praise for her work. Beyond acting, Victoria lived authentically. She valued her personal life, sought meaningful experiences, and focused on the people and moments that mattered most. Victoria Kafka Jones leaves a legacy not built on fame, fortune, or public attention, but on the quiet choices she made each day. She lived with thoughtfulness, cared deeply for her family, and pursued life in a way that reflected her values. Even though her life ended too soon, her story is a reminder that true meaning comes from living authentically, nurturing relationships, and embracing the simple yet important joys of life. Victoria will be remembered as a gentle, kind, and strong woman who lived life on her own terms, leaving a lasting mark through her love for family and her quiet strength. Could the quiet, private life Victoria Jones built for herself truly shield her from the personal struggles and dangerous choices that ultimately surrounded her final days? Let's take a closer look. A life of struggles. Victoria Jones's turbulent final years. Victoria Jones was married to a wealthy vineyard owner in Napa who had frequent arguments with her about her substance use in the months before her suspected overdose, the Daily Mail reports. It is now revealed that Jones had a long history of substance problems and was arrested by Napa police in April after a 2-day substance binge. Her husband, Navek Chayas, told authorities that she had been using substances for 48 hours when police were called to Sayas Vineyards just after midnight in late April. Officers were sent after being told about a woman in trouble. At the winery, they found Jones confused and saying the 911 call was a mistake. Police said she was talking fast, struggling with her movements, and had dried blood in one nostril. She also had a white substance on her tongue and admitted using substance but resisted the officers when they tried to arrest her. After she was booked at Napa County Jail, a small bag of white powder was found in her coat. She was charged with being under the influence of substances, resisting arrest, and possessing a controlled substance. 2 months later, Jones was arrested again after a fight with Sayas at the Carneros Resort and Spa in Sonoma, where rooms cost at least $935 a night. Court records show the argument was over her continued drinking and substance use. Keachus ended up with a reddened face after Jones allegedly slapped him twice. She was arrested again and taken to Napa County Jail, where she was charged with misdemeanor domestic violence. A mugshot taken after this arrest, obtained by the Daily Mail, shows Jones looking embarrassed with a small mark under her eye. Sayas has not commented to the Daily Mail about the incidents. Authorities said Jones had been staying at the Fairmont Hotel in San Francisco for at least 3 days before being found unresponsive and later pronounced dead. Her family reportedly called the police multiple times when they had not heard from her for days. One of these welfare checks last year was related to concerns about her substance use. In San Francisco, she was also known for heavy drinking. One local told the Daily Mail that she was a well-known drinker who could be quick to fight. She had a reputation in North Beach, the source said. She spent a lot of time drinking and getting into fights at bars and restaurants. Many people said she often caused disturbances and got into physical arguments while she was there over the years. What do you think is the cause of Victoria Jones's death? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for staying with us as we examine the tragic and unsettling death of Victoria Jones and the questions that continue to surround it. We hope this video gives you a clearer picture of the events, the background, and the unanswered details at the center of this case. Click the next video on your screen for more in-depth coverage of high-profile cases. See you there.